students. First of all, I welcome you all to my second video on the chapter P block elements. In the previous videos, we discussed something about introduction to the P block elements, and we started the discussion on group 15 elements, that is nicosins, nitrogen family, is it not? And of course, one important aspect that I want to bring to your notice is, whenever you are writing title of the chapter P block elements, observe here, use small letter P, not the capital letter P. This is my request to you, because being a chemistry student, you should not commit this mistake, right? Hagagi, observe there, I am using small letter P because that P represents P subshell, where we use small p for representing P subshell, small s for representing S subshell, small d for representing D subshell, small f for representing F subshell. That you keep it in mind. Yes, that mistake you should not do that. I observed many of you will do that mistake. Because of that, first I bring that particular aspect to your notice, right? We started group 15 elements, right? That is group 15 elements. That is nitrogen family, we call it as. First element is nitrogen, second element is phosphorus, next it will be arsenic, then it will be antimony, and of course bismuth, right? Group 15 elements are characterized by valence shell electronic configuration ns2 np3. That is very important for us. This is the electronic configuration of group 15 elements in the valence shell. And there are 5 electrons in the valence shell. Out of 5 electrons, 2 electrons are paired, and of course, and remaining 3 electrons will be unpaired. That you should notice. Is it not? In the previous video, we discussed electronic configuration of group 15 elements. Some of the general properties like atomic size, ionic size, ionization enthalpy we also discussed. As far as the periodic table is concerned, first I will bring it to your notice, that is general trends of variation of properties of elements in the periodic table. If I say from left to right, then left to right along the period anta karitivina, right? This is down the group anta karitivi, okay na? So by the mansal itkoli, the trend will be observed. That trend you should remember always, right? From left to right enagate, atomic size decreases, right? From top to bottom enagate, atomic size increases. Atomic size increases, right? From top to bottom, atomic size increases. From left to right, atomic size decreases. Because of that, ionization enthalpy increases. Electronegativity increases. Electron affinity increases. This 10 is that is very essential for you. Atomic size matra decrease agate left and right along the period. Uldudella jasti agate. Illi nodi, top to bottom atomic size increase agate. Ionization enthalpy, electronegativity and electron affinity decreases. Electron affinity is also called as electron gain enthalpy. Atomic size hege variation agate, the opposite variation agate. Atomic size decrease adre, ionization enthalpy increases, electronegativity increases, electron affinity increases. Atomic size increase agate down the group, ionization enthalpy decreases, electronegativity decreases, and of course electron gain enthalpy also decreases, right? Hagagi idanna ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. You should keep it in mind always, because I make use of this particular aspect in various cases, right? And of course, under group 15 elements, next discussion is electronegativity. Next property to be discussed is electronegativity. That is, electronegativity is a property of a bonded atom. Look at this, property of a bonded atom. It's an ability of a bonded atom to attract shared pair of electrons towards it. It's an ability of bonded atom. Look at this. If electronegativity of B is more than A, electrons will be moving towards B, then B becomes delta minus, A becomes delta plus. Tendency of attracting shared pair of electrons towards it in the case of bonded atoms, that is called as electronegativity. You know, on moving down the group, atomic size increases. This is small atom, bigger atom, bigger than, and of course biggest. Atomic size increases. Therefore, electronegativity decreases. Electronegativity decreases. Therefore, now at this moment I can write electronegativity of nitrogen is greater than phosphorus. Phosphorus is greater than arsenic. Arsenic is greater than antimony. Antimony is greater than bismuth. This is electronegativity order. Electronegativity decreases down the group from nitrogen to bismuth. Nitrogen will have a very high electronegativity because of its small size, whereas bismuth will have a, yes, it is low electronegativity because of its bigger size. So this is what we call it as electronegativity. Apart from that, I suppose to discuss melting and boiling points of group 15 elements, right? Melting and boiling points of group 15 elements. General discussion it is, not a specific discussion, right? Melting and boiling points. Look at this one, moving down the group, atomic size increases. Van der Waals force of attraction increases. Atomic size ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Surface area of the atom ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Van der Waals force of attraction ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Because of that, melting and boiling points will increase. Melting and boiling points will increase from nitrogen to bismuth. Nitrogen is a gas with the lowest melting and boiling point. Bismuth being a solid with the highest melting point, and yes, it is boiling points. But generally, bismuth is characterized by low melting point. General trend ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ melting and boiling points increase from nitrogen to bismuth. ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ melting and boiling point of nitrogen will be less than phosphorus, less than arsenic, less than antimony, less than bismuth. ಈ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ on moving down the group ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ atomic size ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, van der Waals force of attraction ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ atomic size melting and boiling points ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಆದರೆ there are different factors which will be deciding melting and boiling points. Melting point of bismuth is relatively less as we expect from the trends. Now expect ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ bismuth ನ melting and boiling points ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ because of inert pair effect. Because of inert pair effect. You know that inert pair effect is highly dominant in the case of, yes, it is bismuth. You know that electronic configuration of bismuth, that is xenon 4f14 5d10 6s2 6p3. In all other elements, you know, all the 5 electrons can take part in bonding. Except bismuth, in all other elements, all the 5 electrons can take part in bonding. But in bismuth, because of the poor shielding effect caused by F electrons, shielding effect caused by F electrons is weak, and at the same time, bismuth is having atomic number 83. Atomic number of bismuth is 83 and high nuclear charge ಇದೆ. Nuclear charge ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ bismuth ಇಂದು, ಮತ್ತೆ poor shielding effect of F electrons ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ that nucleus of bismuth will have much control over the S electrons of the, yes, it is bismuth, 6 S electrons. Therefore, these two S electrons present in 6s shell will be strongly attracted by the nucleus of the bismuth. Therefore, these two electrons do not take part in chemical reaction. Only 3 electrons are involved in bonding. Therefore, that is because of that inert pair effect. Only 3 electrons of the 6p subshell will participate in bonding rather than 5 electrons in the valence shell. Because of that, the bismuth is characterized by relatively low melting point. Yes, that is what we call inert pair effect. What we said? Chemical inertness of S electrons. Inert pair effect andre chemical inertness of S electrons due to the poor shielding effect caused by F electrons and that is called as, yes, it is inert pair effect. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ poor shielding effect ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ nucleus of the bismuth strongly attracts s electrons present in 6s subshell, and therefore these two electrons become non-reactive. Andre they don't take part in chemical reaction, that is chemically inert. Of course, only 3 electrons present in the bismuth will be taken part in bonding. Therefore, bismuth will be characterized by relatively low melting point. Yes. I'll go for the next property, that is allotropy. One more property to be discussed is allotropy. Yes. Allotropy is a phenomenon where an element exhibits 2 or more physically different forms. If an element exists in 2 or more physically different forms, you know, allotropic forms of carbon, yadu, diamond, graphite, fullerene, they are all allotropic forms of carbon. And these allotropic forms differ one another by physical properties, but they have got same chemical properties. Allotropy is a phenomenon in which an element exists in 2 or more physically different forms. And of course, and this nitrogen and bismuth, they do not exhibit, yes, it is allotropic. Nitrogen and bismuth do not exhibit, yes, it is allotropic, right? And if it comes to the phosphorus, phosphorus will be available in 5 forms, that is white phosphorus, red phosphorus, black phosphorus, scarlet phosphorus, and of course violet phosphorus. These are the 5 different forms of, yes, it is the phosphorus: white, red phosphorus, black phosphorus, scarlet phosphorus, and violet phosphorus. Depending upon the color of the allotropic form, you know, we have different names. If it comes to the question of arsenic, arsenic is available in grey form, grey arsenic, yellow arsenic we have, and of course black arsenic we have. These are the allotropic forms of arsenic. If it comes to the antimony, we have only 2 allotropic forms, that is yellow and of course black. And you can notice here, number of allotropic forms decrease from phosphorus to antimony. No allotropic forms in the case of bismuth, and of course no allotropic forms in the case of nitrogen. So this is what we call it as allotropic forms of phosphorus, right? Allotropic forms of group 15 elements. Howda? Agboದಲ್ಲ? Just mention ಮಾಡೋದಷ್ಟೇ, ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ details ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay na? Now I'll go to the one more property of group 15 elements, that is catenation. Yes. One more property of group 15 elements, that is catenation. Yes. Catenation refers to the self-linking property of an element. Generally, catenation is found in the case of non-metals. Self-linking property of an element. That is ability of an element to form covalent bonds with its own atoms. Now that is, carbon can form a covalent bonds with its own atoms. That catenation property is highly dominating in the case of carbon. That is ability of an element to form covalent bonds with its own atoms, that is called as catenation. Of course, as far as nitrogen is concerned, nitrogen can form a covalent bonds with its own atoms through triple bonds, right? That is, nitrogen can form covalent bonds with its own atom through triple bonds. That is, catenation property is not dominating in the case of nitrogen. Or you can say, it can form a covalent bonds, it can form a, yes, it is nitrogen chains, it can form nitrogen chains up to 3 atoms. So this is plus, and of course, and it will be minus there. Yes, this is what we call it as hydrozoic acid. We call it as hydrozoic acid. In hydrozoic acid, you can find 3 nitrogen atoms forming a nitrogen chain. Yes, through double bonds, right? This is hydrozoic acid. And of course, catenation will not be extending after 3 nitrogen atoms. Maximum number of nitrogen atoms which can take part in catenation will be only 3 here. Hagagi nanu ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, that extent of catenation in the case of nitrogen is very, very less. But in the other cases like phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, yes, and that catenation will be extended up to 4 atoms. Catenation can be extended up to 4 atoms, because if I take phosphorus, you know, it can form, yes, it is a covalent bonds with its own atoms like this, you know, by involving 4 phosphor atoms here, four phosphorus atoms are involved in the formation of, yes, it is in the formation of covalent bonds. That is, catenation will be extended up to 4 atoms in the case of phosphorus, arsenic, antimony. Yes, you know that phosphorus cannot form a triple bond, and that is arsenic cannot form a triple bond as in the case of nitrogen. If phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, they cannot form a triple bonds as in the case of nitrogen. Similarly, that the nitrogen to nitrogen single bond is very weak. Nitrogen to nitrogen single bond is very weak. The strength of the nitrogen to nitrogen single bond is very, very less. You know that nitrogen atoms are characterized by lone pair of electrons. Nitrogen to nitrogen single bond is formed in the case of hydrogen. Hydrogen alli nitrogen to nitrogen single bond is, but that nitrogen to nitrogen single bond is very, very weak. Look at the lone pair of electrons in the nitrogen. These lone pair of electrons undergo repulsion. These lone pair of electrons repulsion agate. Why there is a repulsion? Because nitrogen atom is very small. This nitrogen atom tumba chikdirodrinda enagate. There is a repulsion between, yes, it is the electron pairs for the adjacent atoms. Look at this. If I say a covalent bond between 2 nitrogen atoms in the illu lone pair ide, illu lone pair ide, they are very, very close. Therefore enagate repulsion agate. Whenever there is a repulsion between 2 electron pairs, enagate nitrogen to nitrogen single bond becomes weak. But in the case of phosphorus, phosphorus atom is bigger than nitrogen. Phosphorus atom nitrogen here is a lone pair, here is a lone pair. Look here, this is in the case of nitrogen, this is in the case of phosphorus, and of course this is in the case of arsenic. This is arsenic. Bigger atoms are there. Lone pairs there. Nitrogen being a small atom, know that lone pair repulsion is highly dominant here, because lone pair of electrons are very, very close over the smaller atoms. But illi lone pair of electrons are there over here also. Lone pair of electrons are due to the bigger size of the atom. Lone pair of electrons are away from one another. This lone pair of electrons distance ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ರಿಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ರಿಪಲ್ಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ that is phosphorus, arsenic and antimony. They can form, yes, it is phosphorus to singles. They can form single covalent bonds with their own atoms. They can form single covalent bonds with their own atoms. But nitrogen to nitrogen single bond is very, very weak. Now that due to the, yes, it is lone pair repulsion. And at the same time, what I said, that nitrogen can form, yes, it is a triple bond between 2 nitrogen atoms. Okay, now there are 3 bonds between, yes, it is 2 nitrogen atoms. Out of 3 bonds, 1 is sigma bond, remaining 2 are pi bonds. Now these pi bonds are produced. These pi bonds are produced by what? Sidewise overlapping of p orbitals. These pi bonds are produced by sidewise overlapping of p orbitals. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು p orbital ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು p orbital ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಈ p orbitals ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಮತ್ತೆ sidewise overlapping ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Yes, because of that sidewise overlapping of p orbitals, you are going to get p pi bonding. P pi bonding ಅಂದ್ರೆ that is pi bonding produced by sidewise overlapping of p orbitals. That is highly dominant in the case of nitrogen. And of course, whereas in the case of phosphorus and other elements, phosphorus and other elements, this is not possible. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಿಗರ್ ಇನ್ ಸೈಜ್. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ p orbitals ಇದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ p orbitals ಇದೆ. They are bigger atoms. ಹಾಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, these p orbitals are far away from one another. The gap between p orbitals is very high. ಹೌದಾ? ಈ p orbitals ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, sidewise overlapping is not favoring. ಅದೇ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ they are small atoms ಅಲ್ವಾ, that is p orbitals are very close to each other, they undergo sidewise overlapping. Nitrogen ಅಲ್ಲಿ size of these nitrogen atoms ಚಿಕ್ಕದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, sidewise overlapping ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ p pi bonding is possible in the case of nitrogen, but in the case of phosphorus, arsenic and other elements, p pi bonding is not possible. P pi bonding is not possible because due to the bigger size, Sidewise overlapping is not favoring because p orbitals are far away from one another. ಈ p orbitals ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅವುಗಳು sidewise overlapping ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, they do not form p pi bonding, but nitrogen can take part in p pi bonding. So that is one more important observation that you need to observe as far as yes it is catenation property is concerned. The catenation property takes place up to yes it is 4 atoms, but in nitrogen catenation will be extended up to 3 atoms. ಹೌದಾ? ಅದು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜೋಯಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ that catenation will be extended up to 4 atoms. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, phosphorus can form phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, yes it is, and yes it is phosphorus, arsenic and antimony can form tetraatomic, yes it is, molecules, that is P4 and of course AS4 and of course sp4, that is phosphorus, arsenic and antimony can form tetraatomic molecules due to the stronger single bonds there. Now the phosphorus to phosphorus single bond is stronger than nitrogen to nitrogen single bond. Hagagi phosphorus, arsenic and antimony can form tetraatomic molecules, whereas nitrogen can form only diatomic molecule. Howda? Nitrogen can form only diatomic molecules. Howda? Agane phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, they cannot form, yes it is, pi bonds. Howda? Phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, they cannot form pi bonds because p pi bonding is not possible in the case of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony. ಈ differences ಅನ್ನು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು because I make use of this particular aspect in the forthcoming discussions. Okay na? We'll see next one. Yes, metallic and non-metallic property, that is metallic and non-metallic property. One more property to be discussed according to your syllabus, that is metallic and non-metallic property. Yes, one of the striking features of p block elements, not only group 15, but group 15 ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, one of the striking features of p block elements is this is one such block where you will find metals, non-metals as well as metalloids. ಈ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮೆಟಲಾಯ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. You know metalloids, they are the elements which will exhibit properties of metals as well as non-metals. So we call them as semi-metals ಅಂತಾನು ಕರೆಯಬಹುದು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. You can call metalloids as semi-metals. Okay na? Here for example, if I take nitrogen, phosphorus, yes it is, antimony, arsenic, antimony, and of course bismuth, yes, a group starts with the non-metals, right? This is non-metal, and of course group ends with a metal, right? This bismuth is a metal, passes through metalloid. This is the wonderful observation that we will find in the case of p block elements. Not only group 15, in all groups present in a p block elements, you know, same trend is observed. Ella groups allu kuda ide trend that the group will start with the non-metals, ends with a metal, passes through metalloids. Then of course arsenic and antimony, they are considered to be metalloids because they can exhibit the properties of non-metals as well as metals. Now this particular observation is highly dominant in the case of p block elements. You know that S block is known for metallic property. S block ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಮಗೆ ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ನೆನಪು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? D block ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ they are also transition metals. ಹೌದಾ? ಆದ್ರೆ p block ಅಲ್ಲಿ you will find metals, non-metals as well as metalloids. That is the wonderful observation as far as the yes it is p block elements are concerned. In the case of group 15, nitrogen and phosphorus, they are non-metals, bismuth is a metal, and of course arsenic and antimony will be metalloids. And of course what I can say that from nitrogen to bismuth, metallic property increases. From nitrogen to bismuth, metallic property increases. ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನು ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ? ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆ, ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆ. ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಐರನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಿಯಂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. Metallic property of an element will be expressed in terms of ability of losing electrons. If I say metallic property is high andre ability of losing electrons is high anta artha. Hagagi from nitrogen to bismuth, metallic property increases andre ability of losing electrons increases anta artha. This is what we call it as metallic property. Yes, Now let us see that next discussion, that is, and that discussion will be under chemical properties. Yes, ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ನಾವು ಬರೀ physical properties ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದಾಯ್ತು. ಈಗ we'll go for the chemical properties. Yes, under chemical properties, we are supposed to discuss nature of bonding. So what kind of bonding is observed in the case of, yes, it is group 15 elements. There are different ways with which an element can take part in bonding. ಹೌದಾ, ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ದಾರಿಗಳಿದೆ. ಹೌದಾ, and of course as far as group 15 elements are concerned, group 15 elements ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ there are two ways with which group 15 elements can take part in bonding. One is by the transfer of electrons. Yes, it is one of the ways with which group 15 elements can take part in bonding will be by the transfer of electrons. Second one is by the sharing of electrons. By sharing of electrons. These are the two ways with which, yes, it is the group 15 elements can take part in bonding. We'll see one by one. What is this? The transfer of electrons. If an element takes part in bonding by transfer of electrons, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಇಂದ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ that results in the formation of ionic bond. That results in the formation of ionic bond. Note, if an element takes part in bonding by transfer of electrons, because whenever there is a transfer of electrons, there is a creation of positive and negative charges. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ between positive and negative charges, electrostatic force of attraction ಇರ್ತದೆ. That force of attraction is called as ionic bonding. If an element takes part in bonding by transfer of electrons, transfer of electrons either by losing electrons or by gaining electrons ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಾದ್ರೂ ಸರಿ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಗೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾದ್ರೂ ಸರಿ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ that bonding through transfer of electrons ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. That results in the formation of ionic bonding. Electron configuration of, yes, it is group 15 elements will be ns2 np3. ಹೌದಾ? If I say E is an element of group 15 elements ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, that valential electronic configuration is ns2 np3 ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. You know that if an element, yes, it is ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, every element try to attain a state of octet configuration. ಹೌದಾ? ಅಥವಾ every element try to attain noble gas configuration either by losing electrons or by gaining electrons. ಹೌದಾ? ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಅಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೇಗಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಪಡೆಯಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಬೈ ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬೈ ಗೇನಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ either by losing all the 5 electrons. So if it loses all the 5 electrons, right, it becomes E plus 5. Ili noble gas configuration. Noble gas configuration followed by ns2 np3. If an element E loses all the 5 electrons, it will become E plus 5. Nimage gottalva? If M is converted to M plus by losing 1 electron, M is converted to M plus 2 by losing 2 electrons. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ this E neutral atom loses 5 electrons and becomes E plus 5. You know that an element will get positive charge by losing electrons. 5 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಅಥವಾ ಹೀಗೂ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. If element E gains 3 more electrons and if it becomes E minus 3, ಆಗ ಕೂಡ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಯ್ತು ಈಗ, noble gas configuration followed by ns2 np3. By losing electrons it attains noble gas configuration. All the 5 electrons are lost. ಉಳಿಯೋದೇನು noble gas configuration ಉಳಿತು. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ns2 np3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು 3 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ns2 np8 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ns2 np3 ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಗೆ 3 electrons ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ns2 np6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, if element E gains 3 electrons, it attains noble gas configuration. ಅಥವಾ if it loses all the 5 electrons, it attains noble gas configuration. Which is better ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, this is better. Losing 5 electrons is more difficult than gaining 3 electrons. 5 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರ ಬದಲಾಗಿ 3 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಬೆಟರ್. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? As far as group 15 elements are concerned. Therefore, in the case of group 15 elements, they will take part in ionic bonding. They will take part in ionic bonding by gaining 3 electrons. They take part in ionic bonding by gaining 3 electrons due to the valential electronic configuration ns to np3. ಆ 3 electrons ಅನ್ನು gain ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ns to np6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ nitrogen can gain 3 electrons and becomes n-3. Phosphorus can gain 3 electrons and become p-3. Arsenic can gain 3 electrons to become as-3. Similarly, Sb-3 and of course Bi-3, right? And this is how by gaining 3 electrons, they can take part in ionic bonding. And because of that, this nitrogen can form, yes, it is Ca3N2 with calcium. Phosphorus can form, yes, it is again, it can form Mg3N2 with magnesium. Again, calcium can form, yes, it is Ca3P2. And of course, magnesium can form Mg3P2. And of course, these are all the ionic compounds. These are all the ionic compounds of nitrogen and phosphorus. Means what? That is, in the case of nitrogen and phosphorus, tendency of gaining 3 electrons is very high. Tendency of gaining electrons is very high in the case of nitrogen and phosphorus because these nitrogen and phosphorus are highly electronegative. ಇವುಗಳ electronegativity ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. nitrogen to bismuth ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ electronegativity ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ tendency of gaining 3 electrons decreases. ಆ 3 electrons ಅನ್ನು gain ಮಾಡುವಂತ ability ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ nitrogen ಇಂದ bismuth ಗೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ that no doubt nitrogen and phosphorus they can form ionic bonds by gaining 3 electrons from highly electropositive elements like calcium and magnesium. Calcium ಮತ್ತು magnesium ಜೊತೆ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ 3 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಗೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ +2, ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ -3 ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಕ್ರಿಸ್ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಪಲ್ಟಾ ಮಾಡಿ Ca3P2 Ca3P N2 ಅಂತ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇಸ್ -3, ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಇಸ್ +2, ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇಸ್ -3, ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂ ಇಸ್ +2. ಈ ತರ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ that nitrogen and phosphorus will be in the form of -3. ಹೌದಾ? ಓಕೆನಾ? So that is that the group 15 elements can take part in the formation of ionic bonding by the transfer of electrons. Due to the ns2p3 configuration, group 15 elements will have the tendency of accepting 3 electrons from other species. And that tendency of accepting electrons is highly dominant in the case of nitrogen and phosphorus, and that tendency will be decreasing from nitrogen to phosphorus. Okay, na? And of course, that is the what we call it as one way with which group 15 elements can take part in bonding. So this is what we call it as the nature of bonding in the case of group 15 elements. One is by the transfer of electrons. Hagagi innondenappa andre another way of chemical bonding in the case of group 15 elements is by sharing electrons, right? That is second way is by sharing electron pairs. By sharing electron pairs, right? Group 15 elements can take part in bonding by sharing electron pairs. By sharing electron pairs. For example, once again, I'll go for the electronic configuration. ns2 np3. Out of 5 electrons, 2 electrons are paired, and of course, that is 3 electrons will be unpaired. And these 3 unpaired electrons can be shared with other atoms. These 3 unpaired electrons can be shared with other atoms. Thereby, the covalency of group 15 elements will be 3. Therefore, covalency of group 15 will be 3. Covalency andre number of electron pairs shared between 2 atoms. Here, for example, in the case of nitrogen, out of 5 electrons, 3 electrons are unpaired, 2 electrons are paired. 5 electrons alli 2 electrons paired ide, inna 3 electrons unpaired ide. These unpaired electrons can share. This unpaired electron can be shared with the electron of the hydrogen or other monovalent atoms. Again agate. There are 3 electron pairs shared between nitrogen and hydrogen. Therefore, the covalency of nitrogen is 3. Again, the covalency of group 15 elements will be 3 because group 15 elements can form, yes, it is 3 covalent bonds with other atoms by sharing their 3 unpaired electrons present in the valence shell. Agagi, we have NH3 where covalency of nitrogen is 3. We have, yes, it is NF3 where covalency of nitrogen is 3. We have PCl3. We have AsCl3. We have SpCl3. In all the cases, you can find the covalency of group 15 elements will be 3. Now, the yellow case, that is, the group 15 elements are forming, yes, it is 3 covalent bonds with other atoms. Bare atoms jotege 3 covalent bonds na form ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ one of the possible covalency of group 15 elements will be 3. One of the possible covalency of group 15 elements will be 3. ಹೌದಾ? Apart from that, if I take nitrogen, yes, the maximum covalency of nitrogen is, yes, it is 4. That is, maximum covalency of nitrogen is 4. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅವಾಗಲೇ 3 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, but nitrogen ಅಲ್ಲಿ 4. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ these lone pair of electrons can be shared with, yes, it is other ions like H plus ions. These lone pair of electrons can be shared with other ions like H plus ion. That's why the maximum covalent bonds will be 4 here. The maximum covalency of nitrogen is 4 because of donation of electron pairs from nitrogen to other species like H plus ions. Hagagi, due to the presence of lone pair of electrons for the nitrogen, the maximum covalency of nitrogen will be 4. That lone pair of electrons can be donated to other species to form coordinate bond. Howda? ಈ ಲೋನ್ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದು ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ the maximum covalency of nitrogen is 4, especially in the case of NH4 ion. This is NH4 ion. ಹೌದಾ? NH4 ion ಹೇಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? By the donation of electron pairs to the H plus ions, then you are going to get, yes, it is NH4 plus ion. Here the maximum covalency of nitrogen is 4. But in the case of other elements of the group like phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, you can find the maximum covalency of, that is maximum covalency of 5 in the case of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony. Nodi, phosphorus, arsenic and antimony alli that maximum covalency will be more than 4. Yakke andre nodi, in the case of phosphorus you have, that is neon electronic configuration 3s2 3p3. In the case of arsenic it will be, yes, it is argon, yes, 3d10 4s2 4p3. Alva. In the case of antimony it will be, yes, it is krypton, and of course 4d10 5s2 5p3. We got the electronic configuration. Look at this, phosphorus, arsenic and antimony. Here we have third main shell. Here we have fourth main shell. We have fifth main shell in the valence shell. And 3s2 3p jotege you will have 3d0 also. Here we have 4d0 also. Here we have 5d0 also. No doubt electrons are not present in 3d, but 3d subshell is there, 4d subshell is there in arsenic, 5d subshell is there in antimony. Electrons illde irbodu, but 3d 4d 5d subshell alli ide. But in the case of nitrogen, look here, electronic configuration is helium 2s2 2p3. And in the second main shell we don't find 2d there. 2d ilve illalla. Second main shell alli d subshell barodilvalla. Hagagi valence shell alli d orbitals are not found in the case of nitrogen. That is, valence shell of nitrogen doesn't contain d orbitals. Hagagi in the case of nitrogen maximum covalency is only 4. But in the case of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, due to the presence of d subshell, look at this. This is, yes, NS alva. This is NP alva, and of course ND ಇದೆ alva, and that is d subshell ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, NS ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 electrons ಇದೆ, NP ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 electrons ಇದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? Yes or no? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ND subshell ಇದೆ. ಈ ND subshell ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್, ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್ ಮತ್ತು ಆಂಟಿಮನಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ. ಈ ND subshell ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. In excited state ಏನಾಗಬಹುದು? One of the electrons from S may be shifted to D. ಹೌದಾ? S subshell ಇಂದ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ D subshell ಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬಹುದು excited state ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆಗೇನಾಯ್ತು? How many unpaired electrons are available now? 5 unpaired electrons are available. Due to the availability of these 5 unpaired electrons, phosphorus, arsenic and antimony can form 5 covalent bonds with other species. Therefore, in the case of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, due to the availability of vacant d orbitals in the valence shell. Valence shell alli vacant d orbitals available irodrinda its maximum covalency can be 5. Therefore, we have PCl5, we have SbCl5, we have PF5, we have SbF5. These are the compounds where phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, and of course they are exhibiting maximum covalency of 5. Apart from that, when this PF5, when it comes in contact with F minus, when this PF5, when it comes in contact with F minus, due to the availability of vacant orbital, this PF5 can take up electrons from F minus. ಇಲ್ಲಿ vacant d orbitals ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ F minus ಇಂದ electron pairs ಅನ್ನ PF5 ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು it can form PF6 minus. ಹಾಗೇನೆ SbF5 can accept the electrons from F minus and thereby it can form SbF6 minus. ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡಿ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, the maximum covalency of phosphorus and antimony will be 6 ಆಯ್ತು ನೋಡಿ. ಈಗ maximum covalency ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು ಈಗ 6 ಆಯ್ತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ due to the availability of vacant d orbitals in the valence shell. Valence shell ಅಲ್ಲಿ vacant d orbitals ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ phosphorus, arsenic and antimony will have a maximum covalency of 5 and 6. But in the case of nitrogen, we don't find any d orbitals in the valence shell. Valence shell ಅಲ್ಲಿ d orbitals ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ it cannot exhibit maximum covalency of 5 and 6, but its maximum covalency is only 4. ಅದು 3 ಇರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, but 4 ಯಾಕಾಯ್ತು? Due to the donation of electron pairs from nitrogen to other species like H plus ions. So this is how the maximum covalency of nitrogen is 4. Other elements of the group will have a maximum covalency of 5 and 6. So this is one more important aspect as far as it is group 15 elements are concerned. Okay na? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. Yes, that is ಯಾವುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ actual ಆಗಿ ಈ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 15 ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5 ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? 5 ವೇಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಇನ್ನು 3 ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಅನ್ಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ದಟ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶೇರ್ ವಿತ್ ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಈ ತರ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಅರೌಂಡ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು 8 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಇದನ್ನ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಇದನ್ನ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2, ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಆಕ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಬಂತಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ that expected covalency of group 15 elements ಎಷ್ಟು 3 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಲೋನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 4 ಆಯ್ತು ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್, ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್, ಆಂಟಿಮನಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೇಕೆಂಟ್ 3d ಆರ್ಬಿಟಲ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ, 6 ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ as the maximum covalency of group 15 elements. ಆಗ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ? And of course as far as group 15 elements are concerned, I already said that is nitrogen can take part in the formation of, yes, it is p-pi bonding. ಹೌದಾ? nitrogen can take part in the formation of p-pi bonding. ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ. But in the case of phosphorus, in the case of phosphorus, they can take part in the formation of d-pi bonding. Okay, na? They can take part in the phosphorus, arsenic, antimony. Yes, phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, they can take part in the formation of d-pi bonding. d-pi ಅಂದ್ರೆ this is a pi bond produced by the overlapping of d orbitals of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony and p orbitals of other species, like in the case of R3p double bond O. This is one of the R is alkyl group, P is a phosphorus. There is a double bond between oxygen and phosphorus. Double bond is ಒಂದು pi bond ತಾನೆ. In this compound we have d-pi bond. ಇಲ್ಲಿ d orbital of phosphorus, p orbital of oxygen will undergo sideways overlapping. That results in the formation of d-pi. d-pi not possible in the case of nitrogen. ಯಾಕೆ? Nitrogen doesn't contain d orbitals at all. Nitrogen d orbitals ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ d-pi is possible in the case of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony. Even in the case of, yes, it is R3, yes, it is p double bond CH2. Here also we have d-pi bonding. That is produced by the sideways overlapping of d orbitals of phosphorus and, yes, it is p orbitals of carbon. Yes, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ phosphorus, arsenic and antimony can form d-pi bonding because they contain d orbitals in the valence shell. But nitrogen can form only p-pi. it doesn't form d pi p pi because nitrogen doesn't have d orbitals at all. Andre phosphorus arsenic antimony p pi not possible because of their bigger size. I already explained. Yes. At the same time, in the case of phosphorus arsenic and antimony, you can expect d pi also. Vyathyasa gamaniಸಿ d pi p pi d pi. That is pi orbital, pi bond produced by the overlapping of d orbitals of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony and p orbitals of oxygen and carbon, other elements. D pi andre, this is pi bond produced by the sidewise overlapping of d orbitals of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony and d orbitals of transition elements. D orbitals of d block elements, transition elements anta karithivi. Okay na? D ಕೆಲವು transition elements ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಈ phosphorus, arsenic, antimony ಏನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? They can form d pi bond. And of course, if phosphorus is in the form of acetic triethyl phosphine ಅಂತ ಒಂದು compound ಇದೆ. Here, this phosphorus is acting like a ligand. Ligands ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಮುಂದೆ coordination chemistry ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Triethyl phosphine ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ it acts like a ligand. It can form a covalent bond with transition metal. Yes. And of course that bond is d pi bonding. Again, we have as it is C6 triphenyl arsine anta ondide. Triphenyl arsine. Here also triphenyl arsine acts like a ligand. If it acts like a ligand, it can form d pi bond with transition metal. Illi enappa andre pi bond produced by the overlapping of d orbitals of these elements and d orbitals of transition elements, d block elements. Iron, cobalt, nickel bartala avugala ಬಗ್ಗೆ. Ligands ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಮುಂದೆ coordination chemistry ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay na? So this is what we call it as, yes, it is the nature of bonding in the case of, yes, it is group 15 elements. ಆಗ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ? Nature of bonding in group 15 elements. Now let us see next topic, that will be, yes, it is oxidation state. Very important. Yes. So now let us see that one more important aspect as far as group 15 elements is concerned, that will be oxidation states. What is this oxidation anta ನೀವು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ? It's a charge possessed by atom of an element in its compound, either by losing electrons or by gaining electrons. That is, generally, elements will take part in chemical reactions. During their chemical reaction with other elements, they form a chemical bonds. During the formation of that bond, they are going to either lose electrons or they may gain electrons. And by losing or gaining electrons, they are going to attain one particular charge. And the charge possessed by atom of an element in its compound, either by losing electrons or by gaining electrons, and that is called as oxidation state. For example, imagine this element M and of course X anta itkolli. If an element M loses one electron, it becomes M plus during the chemical reaction. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಎಂ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂ ಇಸ್ +1. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಪೊಸೆಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ atom of an element in its compound. This is a combined state. This is a compound. Yes, where charge of M is +1. Therefore, oxidation number is +1. So, for example, if M loses 2 electrons, it becomes M+2. That is, if M loses 2 electrons, it becomes M+2. Howda? If M loses 3 electrons, it becomes M+3. That is 3 electrons. And of course, as far as the charge species are concerned, look at this. If I say this M is in +3 state, M is in +2 state, M is in +1 state. Here, the nuclear, that is, the positive charge of M is very high. If the positive charge of M is very high, naturally, M+3 is smaller than M+2, that is smaller than M+1. Size of M+3 is smaller than size of M+2. Andre, as the positive charge over the element increases, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, size of the ion decreases. ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ as the positive charge over the element increases, effective nuclear charge ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. effective nuclear charge ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೈಜ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ M+3 is smaller than M+2, M+2 is smaller than M+1. ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ if X gains 1 electron, it becomes X-1. Then oxidation number of X is -1. This is a charge possessed by X in its compound by gaining 1 electron. If X gains 2 electrons, it becomes X minus 2. Then oxidation number of X is minus 2. If X gains 3 electrons, it becomes X minus 3. Then oxidation number of X is minus 3. And of course, now at this moment, what I can say that X minus 3 is bigger than X minus 2. X minus 2 is bigger than X minus 1. And then as the negative charge increases, effective nuclear charge decreases. Negative charge ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಗಳ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ಆಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸೈಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು. An element in its series, if the negative charge of the element increases, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ size increases. If positive charge of the element increases, size decreases. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? Look at yes, it is group 15 elements, right? ಈ group 15 elements ಅಲ್ಲಿ, look at this. This is group 15 element with the electronic configuration. General ಆಗಿ noble gas NS2 NP3 general ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ, right? ನೋಡಿ, every element will try to attain a state of yes, it is noble gas configuration. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ವಿಚಾರ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೂಡ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಟೈನ್ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಐದರ್ ಬೈ ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬೈ ಗೇನಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇ ಗೇನ್ಸ್ 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಗೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ E-3. It becomes E-3. Therefore, that electronic configuration becomes noble gas NS2 NP6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ NS2 NP3 ಏನಾಯ್ತು, NS2 NP6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ one of the possible oxidation states for group 15 elements will be -3. One of the possible oxidation states for group 15 elements will be -3. That is possible by gaining 3 electrons from other species. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, this element E can lose 3 electrons. ಆಗ if it loses 3 electrons, it becomes E+3. ಆಗೇನಾಯ್ತು ನೋಡಿ, noble gas configuration NS2, this and of course NP0. ಈ 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ನ ಲೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ NS2 NP0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ one more possible oxidation state for group 15 elements will be +3. That is by losing 3 electrons. ಆಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನೋಡಿ, if it loses all the 5 electrons, ಆಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it becomes E+5. The configuration becomes noble gas. ಹೌದಾ? ಈ 5 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, yes, it is NS0 NP0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡಿ, because of this, group 15 elements can gain 3 electrons from other species, or they can lose 3 electrons, or they can lose all the 5 electrons. If they lose 3 electrons, that oxidation state becomes +3. If they lose 5 electrons, oxidation becomes +5. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ in the case of group 15 elements, the common oxidation states of all group 15 elements will be -3, +3 and +5. These are the possible and common oxidation states for all the elements of group 15 elements. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು? -3, yes, it is +3 and of course +5. But even though they are common oxidation states of all elements, but their stabilities are different. Common oxidation states ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವುಗಳ ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Because you know that from element to element, electronegativity changes, size changes. ಹೌದಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ, and as in the case of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, even in the case of yes, it is R3, yes, it is P double bond CH2. Here also we have p-pi bonding. There is produced by the sideways overlapping of d orbitals of phosphorus and yes, it is p orbitals of carbon. Yes. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ phosphorus, arsenic and antimony can form d-pi-p-pi bonding because they contain d orbitals in the valence shell. But nitrogen can form only p-pi-p-pi. It doesn't form d-pi-p-pi because nitrogen doesn't have d orbitals at all. ಆದರೆ phosphorus, arsenic, antimony li p-pi-p-pi not possible because of their bigger size. I already explained. Yes. At the same time, in the case of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, you can expect d-pi also. ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಗಮನಿಸಿ, d-pi-p-pi, d-pi. That is pi orbital, pi bond produced by the overlapping of d orbitals of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony and p orbitals of oxygen and carbon, other elements. D pi andre, this is pi bond produced by the sidewise overlapping of d orbitals of phosphorus, arsenic and antimony and d orbitals of transition elements. D orbitals of d block elements, transition elements anta karitivi, okay na? D ಕೆಲವು transition elements ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಈ phosphorus, arsenic, antimony ಏನು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು? They can form d pi bond, and of course if phosphorus is in the form of it is triethyl phosphine ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಇದೆ. Here this phosphorus is acting like a ligand. Ligands ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಮುಂದೆ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Triethyl phosphine ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ it acts like a ligand. It can form a covalent bond with transition metal, yes, and of course that bond is d pi bonding. Again we have, yes, it is C6 triphenyl arsine anta ondide, triphenyl arsine. Here also triphenyl arsine acts like a ligand. If it acts like a ligand, it can form d pi bond with transition metal. Illi enappa andre pi bond produced by the overlapping of d orbitals of these elements and d orbitals of transition elements, d block elements, iron, cobalt, nickel ಬರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅವುಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. Ligands ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಮುಂದೆ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಓಕೆನಾ? So this is what we call it as, yes, it is the nature of bonding in the case of, yes, it is group 15 elements. ಆಗ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ, nature of bonding in group 15 elements. Now let us see next topic, that will be, yes, it is oxidation state, very important, yes. So now let us see that one more important aspect as far as group 15 elements is concerned, that will be oxidation states. What is this oxidation anta ನೀವು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, it's a charge possessed by atom of an element in its compound, either by losing electrons or by gaining electrons. That is, generally elements will take part in chemical reactions. During their chemical reaction with other elements, they form a chemical bonds. During the formation of that bond, they are going to either lose electrons or they may gain electrons. And by losing or gaining electrons, they are going to attain one particular charge. And the charge possessed by atom of an element in its compound, either by losing electrons or by gaining electrons, and that is called as oxidation state. For example, imagine this element M and of course X anta itಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. If an element M loses one electron, it becomes M plus during the chemical reaction. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ M ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು M plus ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಗ oxidation number of M is +1. This is a charge possessed by atom of an element in its compound. This is a combined state. This is a compound, yes, where charge of M is +1. Therefore oxidation number is +1. So for example, if M loses 2 electrons, it becomes M plus 2, that is. If M loses 2 electrons, it becomes M plus 2. If M loses 3 electrons, it becomes M plus 3, that is 3 electrons. And of course, as far as the charge species are concerned, look at this. If I say this M is in +3 state, M is in +2 state, M is in +1 state. Here, the nuclear, that is the positive charge of M is very high. If the positive charge of M is very high, naturally, M plus 3 is smaller than M plus 2, that is smaller than M plus 1. Size of M plus 3 is smaller than size of M plus 2. Andre, as the positive charge over the element increases, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, size of the ion decreases. ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, because as the positive charge over the element increases, effective nuclear charge ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. effective nuclear charge ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೈಜ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ M plus 3 is smaller than M plus 2, M plus 2 is smaller than M plus 1. ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ if X gains 1 electron, it becomes X minus 1. Then oxidation number of X is -1. This is a charge possessed by X in its compound by gaining 1 electron. If X gains 2 electrons, it becomes X minus 2. Then oxidation number of X is -2. If X gains 3 electrons, it becomes X minus 3. Then oxidation number of X is -3. And of course, now at this moment, what I can say that x minus 3 is bigger than x minus 2, x minus 2 is bigger than x minus 1. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ as the negative charge increases ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, effective nuclear charge decreases. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಗಳ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯ್ತು, ಆಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೈಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು. An element in its series, if the negative charge of the element increases, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, size increases. If positive charge of the element increases, size decreases. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಓಕೆನಾ? Look at the, yes, it is group 15 elements, right? ಈ group 15 elements ಅಲ್ಲಿ, look at this. This is group 15 element with the electronic configuration. General ಆಗಿ noble gas NS2 NP3 general ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ, right? ನೋಡಿ, every element will try to attain a state of, yes, it is noble gas configuration. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ವಿಚಾರ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೂಡ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಟೈನ್ ನೋಬಲ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಗರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಐದರ್ ಬೈ ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬೈ ಗೇನಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇ ಗೇನ್ಸ್ 3 electrons ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 5 electrons ಇದೆ, 3 electrons ಅನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಗೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ E-3. It becomes E-3. Therefore, that electronic configuration becomes noble gas NS2 NP6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 3 electrons ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ NS2 NP3 ಏನಾಯ್ತು, NS2 NP6 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ one of the possible oxidation states for group 15 elements will be -3. One of the possible oxidation states for group 15 elements will be -3. That is possible by gaining 3 electrons from other species. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, this element E can lose 3 electrons. ಆಗ if it loses 3 electrons, it becomes E+3. ಆಗೇನಾಯ್ತು ನೋಡಿ, noble gas configuration NS2, this and of course NP0. ಈ 3 electrons ನ ಲೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ noble gas configuration NS2 NP0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ಕೂಡ stable gas configuration. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ one more possible oxidation state for group 15 elements will be +3. That is by losing 3 electrons. ಆಗ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನೋಡಿ, if it loses all the 5 electrons, ಆಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it becomes E+5. The configuration becomes noble gas. ಹೌದಾ? ಈ 5 electrons ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, yes, it is NS0 NP0 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡಿ, because of this, group 15 elements can gain 3 electrons from other species, or they can lose 3 electrons, or they can lose all the 5 electrons. If they lose 3 electrons, that oxidation state becomes +3. If they lose 5 electrons, oxidation becomes +5. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ in the case of group 15 elements, the common oxidation states of all group 15 elements will be -3, +3 and +5. These are the possible and common oxidation states for all the elements of group 15 elements. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು? -3, yes, it is +3 and of course +5. But even though they are common oxidation states of all elements, but their stabilities are different. Common oxidation states ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅವುಗಳ ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Because you know that from element to element electronegativity changes, size changes. ಹೌದಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ and as for stability of, yes, it is -3 state. Stability of -3 state decreases. Stability of -3 decreases from nitrogen to bismuth. Stability of -3 state decreases from -3 to bismuth. ಯಾಕೆ -3 ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? If an element has got high tendency of gaining electrons, that N-3 is more stable compared to that of P-3. ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? Nitrogen has got high tendency of gaining electrons compared to phosphorus. P-3 is more stable than As-3. ಯಾಕೆ? Electronegativity of phosphorus is greater than arsenic. And of course, As-3 is more stable than Sp-3. Sp-3 is more stable than Bi-3. ಹೌದಾ? ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, electronegativity decreases from nitrogen to bismuth. Electronegativity ಮತ್ತು ಸೈಜ್ electronegativity ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸೈಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ tendency of gaining electrons decreases. Therefore, stability of -3 state decreases from nitrogen to bismuth. Yes? ಆಗ್ಬೋದಾ? ಈಗ ಬನ್ನಿ, one more oxidation state is stability of, yes, it is +3 state ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ stability of +3 state increases. Yes, it is from nitrogen to bismuth. Nitrogen to bismuth ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, stability of plus 3 state increases and stability of plus 5 state decreases. ನೋಡಿ, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇಂದ ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 3 ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 5 ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್ we have a configuration 4f14. yes, it is a 5d10 ಹೌದಾ, 6s2 6p3 ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್ ಗೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 5 ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, if it loses all the 5 electrons ಹೌದಾ. ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್ ಏನಾದರೂ 5 electrons ಅನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 5 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ you know that due to the poor shielding effect caused by f electrons, that these s electrons present in 6s subshell, they don't take part in bonding. These 2 electrons cannot be removed from 6s because these 2 electrons are strongly attracted by nucleus of the bismuth with a high nuclear charge of 83. Atomic number 83 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ poor shielding of 4f electrons ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, these 2 electrons cannot be removed from bismuth. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, if these 2 electrons cannot be removed ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, plus 5 is not possible. Only 3 electrons from 6p can be removed. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಇನರ್ಟ್ ಪೇರ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 3 ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಟು ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್, ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 5 ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಟು ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನರ್ಟ್ ಪೇರ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಟು ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್. ನಾವು ಟಾಪ್ ಇಂದ ಬಾಟಮ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನರ್ಟ್ ಪೇರ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇನರ್ಟ್ ಪೇರ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೈಲಿ ಡಾಮಿನೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಂಟಿಮನಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನರ್ಟ್ ಪೇರ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಡಾಮಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ bismuth ಅಲ್ಲಿ that plus 3 state is highly stable, plus 5 state is, yes it is, plus 5 state is of course less stable. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ stability of plus 3 state increases from nitrogen to bismuth and plus 5 state decreases due to inert pair effect. Now inert pair effect ಇಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, that these s electrons present in outermost shell, they become chemically inert, they do not take part in bonding. ಈ electrons bonding ಅಲ್ಲಿ participate ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ 5 ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 3 ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ Bi plus 5 is less stable than Bi plus 3. Bi plus 5 is less stable than Bi plus 3 and that is, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ Bi plus 5 is strong oxidizing agent. Bi plus 5 is strong oxidizing agent. ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ನಂತರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಈಗ this is what we call it as the possible oxidation states of group 15 elements ಆಯ್ತು. In addition to minus 3, plus 3 and plus 5, nitrogen will have some oxidation state. So for example, that is ammonia ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, yes, oxidation number of nitrogen is minus 3 here. If I take that is N2H4 ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, oxidation of nitrogen is minus 2 here. ಹಾಗೇನೆ NH2OH ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, oxidation number is minus 1. N2 ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ, oxidation number is 0. Yes. N2O ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ oxidation number of nitrogen is plus 1. ಅದೇ NO ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ oxidation number is plus 2. HNO2 ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ where oxidation number of nitrogen is plus 3. HNO3 ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ where oxidation number of nitrogen is plus 5. ನೋಡಿ, ನಾನು ಬರೀ -3 +3 +5 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. That is common oxidation states of all group 15 elements, but nitrogen will have oxidation states from -3 to +5, -2 ಇದ್ರ ನೋಡಿ. ಈಗ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ನೋಡಿ, NH2OH ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ X ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ +1 ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ 2 ಇದೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ -2 1 ಇದೆ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಎಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ +1 ಹೌದಾ, ಹೌದಾನೆ, ಎಸ್. ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ X ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ +1 2 ಇದೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ -2 1 ಇದೆ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ 1, ಓಕೆನಾ. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, X is equal to +2 +2 -2 ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಆಯ್ತು, that's equal to 0 and that's equal to minus. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಈಚ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, -1 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇಸ್ -1 ಹಿಯರ್. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ +1 ತಾನೆ, ಎಸ್, ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ X ತಾನೆ, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ -2 ತಾನೆ, 2 ಇದೆ, equals 0. Then X equals what, +3. This is oxidation number of nitrogen. This is oxidation number of nitrogen in nitric acid. ಹೌದಾ. So these are the possible oxidation states. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, nitrogen is in lowest oxidation state. Lowest oxidation state of nitrogen is -3. Highest oxidation state is +5. ಇದನ್ನ ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ಓಕೆನಾ. If there are more than one oxidation states possible for a given element, then you have to concentrate on highest oxidation state and lowest oxidation state. Yakandre, on the basis of that, I can take some decisions. Say for example, if an element is in highest oxidation state, if an element is in highest oxidation state, then that element is acting like a oxidizing agent. That element is acting like a oxidizing agent. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್. ಅದರ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೋವಲೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಜನರಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ನೀವು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆಗ ಅದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೋವಲೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ that element is acting like a reducing agent. Opposite. ಆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಅದು ಅಯೋನಿಕ್ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ? if an element is in lowest oxidation state. if an element is in intermediate states ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಮಧ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ. ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವುದು -3, ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವುದು +5, ಅದ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಬರ್ತಾವಲ್ಲ ಅವೆಲ್ಲವೇನು ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. that is both oxidizing and reducing, and it is amphoteric ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is acidic as well as basic ಅಂತ. intermediate oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು acidic ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ, yes it is basic ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ both are possible, ionic as well as covalent. ಯಾವಾಗ? if an element is in intermediate oxidation states. Your highest ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್, ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್. ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್, ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಕ್. ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋವಲೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಯೋನಿಕ್ ಬಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆರಡು ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಿದೆ. ಬೋತ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸಿಂಗ್ as well as reducing. It can act like acidic as well as basic. It can act like it can form covalent as well as ionic bonding. ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಏನಪ್ಪ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ. ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿಸ್. ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಸ್ m+2 m+4 m+7 ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಒಂದು ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ +2 ಇದೆ, +4 ಇದೆ, +7 ಇದೆ. ಇದೇ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇದೇ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಆ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು +7, ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು +2. ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆದ್ರೂ +4. ಇದು ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, m+7 ಎಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ 3 electrons ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ m+4, ಹೌದಾ? ಈ m+7 3 electrons ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು m+4 ಆಗ್ಬಹುದು, ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ +4 ಇಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಈ m+7 ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, 5 electrons ಅನ್ನ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು m+2 ಆಗ್ಬಹುದು, ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ +2 ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ? m+7 can undergo reduction. ಯಾಕೇಳಿ? gain of electrons is called reduction. Anything that gains electron, anything that undergoes reduction is oxidizing agent, ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ನ ಗೈನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ that undergoes reduction. Anything that undergoes reduction is oxidizing agent. ಈಗ ಬನ್ನಿ, m+7 will it become m+8? ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ. by losing 1 electron. m+7 ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ m+8 ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ m+7 ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆವಾಗ m+8 ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಾಗ m+7 never undergoes oxidation, ಹೌದಾ? m+7 never undergoes oxidation. If it never undergoes oxidation, it can never be a reducing agent, ಹೌದಾ? ಅದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, +7 ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ನೆವರ್ ಬಿ ಅ ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್. in highest oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ it never undergo oxidation, therefore it can never be a reducing agent. ಈಗ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ m+2 ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ಹೌದಾ? m+2 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡು m+4 ಆಗಬಹುದು. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? m ಗೆ +4 ಕೂಡ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅಲ್ವಾ? m+2 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡು m+7 ಕೂಡ ಆಗ್ಬಹುದು, ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? m+2 ಗೆ +7 ಅಂದ್ರೆ m+2 can undergo oxidation, ಹೌದಾ? ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್. ಇದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ತಾನೆ. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್, ಹೌದಾ? ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್. ಇದು ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಇದು. ಆದ್ರೆ m+2 can never become m+, ಹೌದಾ? m+2 can never become m+ by gaining electron. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? m+ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಇದೇ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇದೇ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಇದು +1 ಸಾಧ್ಯನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ ನೆವರ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋಸ್ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್, therefore it cannot be an oxidizing agent. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ it can undergo reduction. Anything undergoes reduction is called oxidizing agent. Lowest oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ it undergoes oxidation, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ it can act like a reducing agent. ಈಗ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ನೆನ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಈಗ ಎಸ್, ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ m+7 ಇದೆಯಪ್ಪ, m+2 ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್, ಇದು ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ಆಗ ಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಫ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲೂಯಿಸ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ಸ್. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲೂಯಿಸ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ m+7 ವಿತ್ ಹೈ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ಲೂಯಿಸ್ ಆಸಿಡ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸಿಡಿಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಂಫೋಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೋತ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ m+7 is smaller than size of m+4 is smaller than size of m+2. highest oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಜ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಿರುತ್ತೆ. smaller ions favor covalent bonding, bigger ions will favor, yes it is, ionic bonding. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ m+7 highest oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ions ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ covalent bonding ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ lowest oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ionic bonding ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಬೋತ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಇಂಟರ್ಮೀಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ m+4 ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, m+4 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನಾಗ್ಬೋದು? m+7 ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಅದೇ m+4 ಎರಡು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು m+2 ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಈ m+4 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡು m+7 ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. m+4 ಎರಡು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು m+2 ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ m ಗೆ +7 ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ, +2 ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ m+4 can undergo oxidation as well as reduction. Therefore, intermediate state ಅಲ್ಲಿ it can be an acid as well as base. It can be oxidizing agent as well as reducing agent. It can be ionic as well as it can form ionic bonding as well as covalent bonding. ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ನೆನಪಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಇದ್ರ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಸುಮಾರು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಮುಂದಿನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಈಗಲೇನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನಾರ್ಗಾನಿಕ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಸುಮಾರು ಕಡೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ, ಓಕೆನಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮುಂದಿನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಇನ್ ದ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್, ಅಮೋನಿಯಾ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ -3 ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ಹೌದಾ? ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇಸ್ -3 there. In the case of nitric acid, nitrogen has a highest oxidation state of +5. ಅದೇ ನೋಡಿ HNO2 ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, where oxidation of nitrogen is +3. Lowest oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ it is a reducing agent. Highest oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ it is an oxidizing agent. Intermediate ಅಲ್ಲಿ it is reducing as well as oxidizing agent, ಹೌದಾ? Therefore, when nitrous acid decomposes, it is converted to nitric acid along with the formation of nitric oxide and water. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದರ ವಿಶೇಷತೆ ನೋಡಿ, oxidation number of nitrogen is +3 here. Here it is +5, here it is +2. ಏನು ವಿಶೇಷತೆ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, +3 becomes +5, that is what we call it as oxidation. +3 becomes +2, what is that? Reduction, ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂದ್ರೆ nitrous acid undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. +3 ಇದು +2 ಆಯ್ತು, ಇದು +5 ಆಯ್ತು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ nitrous acid undergoes reduction as well as oxidation. Nitrous acid undergoes Nitrous acid undergoes reduction as well as oxidation. Means what? It can be an oxidizing agent as well as reducing agent. Therefore, this reaction is called disproportionation reaction. Disproportionation reactions are the reactions where an element undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. Therefore, it is disproportionation reaction. This balance ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Interesting balance ನೋಡಿ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? 3 becomes 2 ಅಲ್ವಾ? What is the change? 1. 3 becomes 5 ಅಲ್ವಾ? What is the change? 2. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಯ್ತು. 3 becomes 2 ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಯ್ತು. 3 becomes 5 ಆದ್ರೆ 2 ಚೇಂಜ್. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? 3. Equation is balanced. ನೋಡಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 3H 3N N ಹೌದಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ 3N ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇದನ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ. See that yes it is 2NO ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ. Yes. Option 6 ಅಲ್ವಾ 3 plus 2 plus yes equation is balanced. ಓಕೆನಾ? That is ಏನು equation balance ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 3 plus 3 becomes 2 ಅಲ್ವಾ? What is the change? 1. 3 becomes 5 ಅಲ್ವಾ? What is the change? 2. Total change is 3. Multiply ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಆಗ equation is balanced. This is what we call it as nitrous acid undergoes disproportionation. Because in nitrous acid, nitrogen is in intermediate states. In intermediate states, an element undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. Lowest oxidation state it can undergo oxidation only. Therefore, it is acting like a reducing agent. Highest oxidation state it can undergo reduction only. Therefore, it is oxidizing agent. Intermediate state it undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. Because of that, an element in its intermediate oxidation states if an element is having intermediate oxidation states that undergoes oxidation as well as reduction. This is the equation that is given in our NCERT book saying that nitrous acid undergoes disproportionation. Or bari nitrous acid undergoes disproportionation antali equation ashte koಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. But idr hinde ಕಥೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆ. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಏನು? If an element is in lowest oxidation state, it is acting like it is reducing agent. If an element is in highest oxidation state, it is acting like an oxidizing agent. If an element is in intermediate state, it is acting like reducing as well as oxidizing agent. ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ರೆಡಾಕ್ಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ರಿಮೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ as oxidation states. ಆಗ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ? This is what we call it as oxidation states. Now at this moment, we'll go for the some of the chemical properties like ಇದೇ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಈಗ, I'll prove that that is Bi+5 is stronger oxidizing agent than Sb+5 ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Why Bi+5 is stronger oxidizing agent than Sb+5? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, in the case of bismuth, yes, it is +3 is more stable than +5 ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮೇಲಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ +3 ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ +3 is more stable than +5 ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ bismuth in its +5 state takes off 2 electrons and gets converted to Bi3+. Bi+5 is readily converted to Bi3+ because Bi3+ is more stable than Bi+5, and that is Bi+5 readily undergoes reduction. Therefore, it is oxidizing agent. ಹೌದಾ? ಇದಕ್ಕೇನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ, in the case of bismuth, Bi+3 is more stable than Sb+3. On moving down the group, +3 state stability ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ in the case of bismuth, Bi+3 is more stable than Sb+3. Therefore, Bi+5 is stronger oxidizing agent than Sb+5. ಇದನ್ನ ಒಂದೊಂದ್ಸಾರಿ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ 1 ಮಾರ್ಕಿಗೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? Now at this moment, we'll go to the next topic, that is what we call it as the reactivity of group 15 elements with hydrogen. Reactivity with hydrogen, yes. And as far as group 15 elements are concerned, group 15 element reacts with hydrogen and that creates the formation of trihydrides of the type EH3. Any group 15 element for that matter that reacts with hydrogen under given set of conditions, you are going to get trihydrides. That is EH3 type compounds are produced. That is nitrogen can form NH3, other phosphorus can form PH3, arsenic can form ASH3, antimony can form SbH3, bismuth can form BHH3. This is ammonia, yes. This is phosphine. This is phosphine. This is arsine. This is stibine. This is bismuthine. Yes, it is. Bismuthine. Yes. So this is BISMUTHINE. That is ammonia, phosphine, arsine, stibine, and bismuthine. These are the three hydrides that you can expect as far as, yes, it is the reactivity of group 15 elements with hydrogen are concerned. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಹೈಡ್ರೈಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಟ್ರೈಹೈಡ್ರೈಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ group 15 elements form ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. Now, as per your NCERT textbook, you have to study structure of, yes, it is trihydrides of group 15 elements. Look at this. This is E, and we have 3 covalent bonds, right? EH3 with lone pair of electron over the central atom. Yes. Okay na? E element E ideyalla adu nitrogen agirbodu, phosphorus agirbodu, arsenic agirbodu, antimony agirbodu, and this E is sp3 hybridized. So whenever there is sp3 hybridization, what you can expect? Tetrahedral geometry, but due to the lone pair bond pair repulsion, trihydrides of group 15 elements will have pyramidal structure. Trihydrides of group 15 elements will have pyramidal structure due to the lone pair bond pair repulsion, and the bond angle is less than 109 degree 28 minutes. Bond angle is less than 109 degree 28 minutes. Now at this moment, you are supposed to compare properties of trihydrides of, yes, it is group 15 elements. First of all, bond angle. Look at the bond angle. How that bond angle varies among the trihydrides of, yes, it is group 15 elements. It has been observed that bond angle of NH3 is greater than PH3. Bond angle of PH3 is greater than ASH3. Bond angle is greater than, yes, it is SBH3, and it is greater than, yes, it is BIH3. This is the trend in the variation of bond angle among the hydrides of group 15 elements. Nitrogen will have, yes, it is highest bond angle. BIH3 will have lowest bond angle. Reason is quite clear. From nitrogen to bismuth, electronegativity decreases. Look at this. Look at the nitrogen here. I am talking about, that is E bond. E bond angle ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Yes, H and H bond. ಅಥವಾ I am talking about H E H bond ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ. E can be any group 15 element. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. Because of the high electronegativity of nitrogen, electron density is completely moving towards nitrogen. ಹೌದಾ? ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? electronegativity ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ nitrogen ಕಡೆಗೆ electron density move ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? That electron density around the nitrogen increases. Electron density nitrogen ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಈ electron density ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Repulsion start ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೂ electron density ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Repulsion ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ repulsion ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Bond angle increases. Repulsion ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Bond angle increases. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ that bond angle in the case of NH3 is very high. ಅದೇ BIH3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ with the lowest electronegativity ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ electron density ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. That is electron density ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ? ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ? Electronegativity of bismuth is least. ಇಲ್ಲಿ electronegativity of nitrogen is highest ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ electron density of nitrogen, electron density around the nitrogen is highest. ಇಲ್ಲಿ electron density will be lowest. ಇಲ್ಲಿ repulsion ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ repulsion ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ bond angle ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ due to decrease in electronegativity from nitrogen to bismuth, bond angle decreases, right? That is one property. Yes. ಈಗ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. Second property is basic strength. Yes. And basic strength trend ಬಂದಾಗ ammonia is more basic than PH3. PH3 is more basic than ASH3. ASH3 is more basic than SPH3. SPH3 is more basic than BIH3. Ammonia is highly basic. Basic strength ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? And based on its ability of donating electron pairs. Lewis basis and electron pair donors. That ability of donating electron pairs in the case of nitrogen is very, very high. All atoms are characterized by electron pairs. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆನ್ ದ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಎರಡೆರಡೆ ಒಂದ್ ಪೇರ್ ಇದೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ದಿಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆಟಮ್, ದಿಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿ ಬಿಗ್ ಆಟಮ್, ದಿಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿ ಬಿಗರ್ ಆಟಮ್, ದಿಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಟಮ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್. ಇದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ, ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಬೈ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಎರಡೆರಡೆ ಇದೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಟು ಬಿಸ್ಮತ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಸೈಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ಈ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಈ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತಾನೆ. ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಡೊನೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಗ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರು ಆ ಬಿಗ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡೊನೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ದಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಓವರ್ ದಿ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡೊನೇಷನ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕನ್ವಿನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆಟಮ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿ ಬಿಗ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಂಗ ನೋಡಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇದೊಂದು 3 ಮೊಳೆಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ. ಎಸ್, ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮೊಳೆ ಇದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ, ಇದು ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಈ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಮೊಳೆನ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ ಟು ದಿ ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ನೇಲ್ಸ್. 3 ಮೊಳೆಗಳ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ತಲೆಯನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಎಸ್, ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ತಲೆ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ಮೊಳೆ ತಲೆ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಿದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಮೊಳೆ ತಲೆ ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ, ಈ ಮೊಳೆ ತಲೆ ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ತಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಆಟಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್, ಇದು ಫಾಸ್ಫರಸ್ ಆಟಮ್, ಇದು ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಈ 3 ತಲೆಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ? ಒಂದೊಂದು ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ ನನಗೆ. ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ, ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಡ್ರಾಪ್, ಇದ್ರ ಒಂದು ಡ್ರಾಪ್. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ, 1 ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ 1 ಪೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಹೌದಾ? 1 ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ವಾಟರ್ 3 ಹೆಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ 1 ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿ 3 ಹೆಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ನೇಲ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಆಗ ನೋಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ನೇಲ್ ದಟ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಓವರ್ ಫ್ಲೋಯಿಂಗ್. ಈ ನೇಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಓವರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ತಲೆ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ 1 ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಹಾಕಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದು ಓವರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತಲೆ ದೊಡ್ಡದಿದೆ, ವಾಟರ್ ಓವರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಓವರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? If electron pair is over the very small atom, then it is readily available for donation. If the electron pair is over the big atom, that will spread over the big atom. Aga not available for donation. Hagagi, as the size of the central atom increases, central atom size ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಂಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Electron pair is not available. Electron density over the atom decreases. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. 1 pair of electron very small atom over the very small atom ಅಂದಾಗ electron density is very high, but here electron density is very less. ಆಗ್ಬೋದಾ? So this is what we call it as bond basic strength. Ammonia is more basic than the remaining. Okay na? Next one that is what we call it as that is thermal stability ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Thermal stability, yes. And of course thermal stability is directly related to the bond length between hydrogen and central atom. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, this is nitrogen, this is phosphorus, this is arsenic, this is antimony, this is bismuth ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ hydrogen is attached to this, right? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, hydrogen is attached to this. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? hydrogen is attached to it, hydrogen is attached to it. ಇಲ್ಲಿ hydrogen is attached to it. ಹೌದಾ? ಏನ್ ಗಮನಿಸಿದ್ರಿ ನೀವು? From nitrogen to bismuth ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? From nitrogen to bismuth ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? hydrogen is attached to very small atom. Bond length is very small. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, bond length ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. Bond length ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನರ್ಥ? Distance between nuclei of the 2 atoms is very large. ಇಲ್ಲಿ bond length ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ I can easily break the bond. ಇಲ್ಲಿ bond length ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ, force of attraction is maximum, therefore it is difficult to break. ಹೌದಾ? It requires more energy to break. ಆದ್ರೆ this requires very less energy to break. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ this bond is unstable, can be easily broken. this bond is very strong. Actually, atoms are very very close. Bond length is very very small. ಅಂದಾಗ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ that NH bond ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, that is very very strong bond because of the bond between two very small atoms. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬಿಗ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು, ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ಅನ್ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ NH3 is more stable than, yes it is, PH3 is more stable than, ASH3 is more stable than, SPH3 is more stable than BiH3. ಅಂದ್ರೆ thermal stability of BiH3 is very very less. Thermal stability of ammonia is very very high, and that is directly related to the reducing property. ಇದೇ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಈಗ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I am going to explain reducing property. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ BiH bond is very very weak. Reducing property is expressed in terms of ability of a molecule to release hydrogen. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು? ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? As the ability of releasing hydrogen increases, reducing property increases. ಯಾವ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅನ್ನು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ NH ಮತ್ತೆ BiH ಅಲ್ಲಿ which bond can be broken easily? BiH bond can be broken easily. Therefore, BiH3 can easily release hydrogen. ಹೌದಾ? ಈ BiH3 ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, but not in the case of NH3 because NH bond is very strong, thermally stable, but this is thermally unstable. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ BiH3 bond can be broken easily, hydrogen can be released easily. Therefore, that is reducing ability of NH3 is less than, yes it is PH3, that is less than ASH3, that is less than SPH3, that is less than BiH3. This is ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಒಂದೇ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೇಮ್ greater than ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೋದಲ್ಲ, ಬಾಂಡ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಗಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಸೇಮ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಮಾತ್ರ ರಿವರ್ಸ್. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗಾರೆ? ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ as the properties of hydrides of, yes it is, properties of hydrides of group 15 elements. Now let us see reactivity with oxygen. Yes. Reactivity with oxygen, that's the next discussion. Yes, you know that group 15 elements can form oxides when they react with oxygen under given set of conditions, right? And as far as group 15 element is concerned, that reacts with oxygen to form two types of oxides, E2O3 and E2O5. E2O3 and E2O5 corresponding to +3 and +5 oxidation state. ಹೌದಾ? E2O3 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 15 ಎಲೆಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ +3 ಇದೆ. E2O5 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಡೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ 15 ಎಲೆಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ +5. ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ E2O5 is more acidic than, yes it is, E2O3. ಯಾಕೆ? ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, an element in its highest oxidation state is acidic, lowest oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ E2O5 is more acidic than E2O3. Yes, among the oxides of a given oxidation state, for example N2O3, P2O3, ಹೌದಾ? AS2O3, SP2O3, Bi2O3, ಇಲ್ಲಿ oxidation state is fixed. Plus oxidation state ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. +5 is more acidic than +3. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ +3 ಇದ್ದಾಗ N2O3 is more acidic. This is the order. Nitric oxide is highly acidic, Bi2O3 is highly basic. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ non-metallic compound is converted to metallic compound. Metallic compounds are basic, non-metallic compounds are acidic. ಜೊತೆಗೆ, and of course you know that nitrogen atom is very small atom, highly electronegative atom. If nitrogen trioxide is added to water, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? If it is added to water, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಈ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಇದು ವಾಟರ್ ತಾನೆ H2O. ಈ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಟ್ರೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ವಾಟರ್ ಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, because of its small size and high electronegativity, it will attract the shared probe electrons towards it. ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ, O ಮತ್ತೆ H ಮತ್ತೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪೇರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ತನ್ನ ಕಡೆ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಈ OH ಬಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ವೀಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈ OH ಬಾಂಡ್ ವೀಕ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? H plus release ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ because of its very small size and high electronegativity, it will attract shared group electrons of OH bond. Thereby, OH bond becomes weak. That of H plus. ನೋಡಿ, acidic property is expressed in terms of ability to release H plus ion. Acidic property will be expressed in terms of ability to release H plus ion. Reducing property, ability to release hydrogen. Reducing property anna ability to release hydrogen ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. acidic property ಅನ್ನ ability to release H plus ಅಂತ ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ that is nitrogen triacetate is highly acidic. In the same manner, for the same reason, N2O5 is more acidic than P2O5, and that is AS2O5, that is SB2O5, that is BI2O5. ಇದೇ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಹಾಗಾಗಿ these two are acidic, this is basic, and it will be amphoteric. AS2O3 and sp2O3 amphoteric means they can act like acids as well as bases. If you are done highly acidic ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? That is they are acidic. Least acidic ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Highly basic. ಹೌದಾ? ಇದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವೆರಡು acidic ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಇದು ಮಾತ್ರ amphoteric. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು what to call it as, yes, it is reactivity with oxygen. ಆಗ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ? At the same time, yes. Now let us see. Yes, it is reactivity with halogens. Reactivity with halogens next. When group 15 element like E, when it reacts with halogens, you are going to get two types of halides, EX3 and EX5, corresponding to +3 and +5 state. This is +3 and +5. ಹೌದಾ? ನೀವು ಕೇಳಬಹುದು ಸರ್ E2X3 ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ? E2X3 ಯಾಕೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ? E ಗೆ +3 ಅಲ್ವಾ, X ಗೆ -1 ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಪಲ್ಟಾ ಮಾಡಿ EX3 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ನೋಡಿ E +3 ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಗೆ -2 ಇತ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು E2O3 ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ EX3 ಇದು -1 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, +3 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ EX3 and EX5. ಹೌದಾ? ಆ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ, ರೈಟ್? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ group 15 elements can form two types of halides, EX3 and EX5. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ EX5 is more covalent than EX3. ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ highest oxidation state ಅಲ್ಲಿ EX5 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Element is in +5 state. EX3 ಅಂದ್ರೆ element is in +3. ಇವೆರಡರಲ್ಲಿ which is smaller size? E +5 is smaller than E +3. If the size of the ion decreases, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? According to Fajans rule, it will have a tendency of forming covalent bonds. Smaller ions will have a high tendency of forming covalent bonds compared to bigger ions. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ EX5 is more covalent than EX3. ಈ decision ಅನ್ನ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಓಕೆನಾ? So this is, and apart from that, as far as BiF5 is concerned, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ bismuth, that can in the case if I move from nitrogen to bismuth, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? +3 state stability ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, +5 state stability ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ bismuth can form only one compound, that is BiF5 in its +5 state. It cannot form BiCl5 because in the case of bismuth, stability of +5 state is less. ಹೌದಾ? BiF5 ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ because of its high electronegativity of fluorine there. At the same time, all elements can form trihalides like EX3 form ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. That is, for example, we have a PCl3, we have ASCl3, we have SpCl3, we have BiCl3, but NCl3 is unstable. NCl3 is unstable because of its very small size. At the same time, that is only one trihalide is possible, that is NF3 is possible because of its high electronegativity. ಹೇಗೆ bismuth ಅಲ್ಲಿ BiF5 ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಾಧ್ಯನೋ, ಹಾಗೆ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ NF3 ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. NCl is unstable, therefore it is explosive in nature. NCl3 is explosive in nature. Okay na? So that is what we call it as one more aspect. Now let us see reactivity with metals. As far as group 15 elements are concerned, they can form binary compounds with certain metals, especially highly electropositive metals like that is Ca3P2, calcium phosphide, Ca3N2, calcium nitride, ಹೌದಾ? Na3AS, sodium arsenide, Zn3, and of course Sb2, zinc antimonide. Again, we have this magnesium Bi3, Bi2, magnesium bismuthide. This is calcium phosphide. This is calcium nitride. This is sodium arsenide. This is zinc antimonide. This is magnesium bismuthide. ಈ ತರ binary compounds ನೋಡಬಹುದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು, in all the compounds that group 15 elements will have a oxidation state -3. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಟಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ 3 ಇದೆ 3 ಇದೆ ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ, all these group 15 elements will have -3 state. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಯಾಕೆ? ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂಗೆ +2, ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂಗೆ +2, ಸೋಡಿಯಂಗೆ +1 ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ. ಜಿಂಕ್ಗೆ +2, ಮೆಗ್ನೀಷಿಯಂಗೆ +2, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ. Yes, so this is what we call it as reactivity with metals, right? So that's all about general properties of SAT's group 15 elements. In the next class, we are going to discuss some interesting aspects like individual discussions, nitrogen and its compounds. Okay, na? Nitrogen and its compounds, phosphorus and its compounds. That we'll see. Agboda? Thank you, right?